How about those Philadelphia Flyers? The one team in Philadelphia that's actually winning games right now. Going for number 10 at 10 tonight. We'll see if they can do it. Caleb Weiler's here. I'm Adrian Fedke. I know you're excited. Flyers. How fantastic is this winning streak?
It is phenomenal. I am ecstatic with the way the Flyers are playing right now. You're getting Flyers games winning in multitude of different ways. You know, Mason's stealing games. The Flyers are scoring 6 goals and winning games. Their special teams are killing it. It's a great time to be a Flyers fan right now. And like you said, they're the only team winning in Philadelphia, although I do think the Sixers won 2 in a row, which is like more than they've won in all the last 3 seasons combined. So that's something good too. But, you know, the Flyers right now are something to cheer for, so I'm definitely happy about that.
Yeah. How about those Flyers? And they're winning in dramatic fashion, too. 2 goals down twice against the Oilers last Thursday. Then they fight back again. You fall down 2-1 to the Stars on what was that, Saturday afternoon. And then you score 3 goals in the final 5 minutes. So this team is certainly resilient.
Certainly. Yeah, they no matter what that happens right now, they're just finding a way to win games, which is awesome because you would see Flyers teams early in seasons before, and earlier this season, they'd go down, they'd get a bad bounce, and a puck would go in, soft on Steve Mason, they'd give up. But right now, they're really feeling it. They're, as Lavi would say, playing with some jam. So no matter what the situation they're in, they think they can win, which is awesome. Obviously, they've won 9 in a row, and like you said, in dramatic fashion, some games, an overtime win against Detroit. Stoley, the goalie, got his first NHL shutout, which was also the Flyers' first shutout of the season, which that was pretty cool to see too.
Yeah, we'll get into him later because that's impressive. Second time he's played this season, he's got a shutout, so that's pretty damn good. All right, so I wanted to start with Braden Schenn. We'll talk about Jacob Voracek as well because Schenn had a hat trick on Saturday, which is pretty cool. First time I've ever been to a hat trick game. That was sweet. I did not have a hat. I was in the press box. You know, I had my hair did up all nice and stuff. But so they score. Well, it was a power play hat trick. Scored all 3 goals on the power play. And Voracek assisted on all 3 of them. So, talk about Schenn's performance over this weekend, man. 4 goals, scores again against Detroit. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, I've absolutely been loving the play of Schenn right now, especially on the power play. I mean, even strength, he hasn't been too great. He's pushing plays, playing that second line center position in between Travis Konechny and Jake Voracek, or Wayne Simmons, whoever they decide to put on that line. And it's been awesome. He's been playing really well. He's kind of being thrust into that spot after being bounced around in the lineup. And he scored 4 goals in those 2 games, which was awesome. I've never been a big Braden Schenn fan, but hopefully that breaks him out of his slump. Hopefully he can score a few even strength goals. And to move on to Jake Voracek as well. He scored 8 points in 2 games, which was awesome. That was really great to see. So the Flyers are really churning out the points right now, scoring a lot of goals, which is good to see.
Yeah, and those goals were basically almost the same thing. You got Voracek there at the top of the right circle, whatever. He's sending in either a shot or a little pass on goal. You got Schenn stationed in front of the net. He's just poking it home.
Yeah. You would think eventually the Stars would catch on and be like, well, maybe we should shut down that passing lane because they scored on us twice already that way, and they scored the 3rd goal the same exact way. So as predictable as that may have been, it was working for them. And even when Ghost was out with the hand bruise, Straight filled in great on that power play and got those 2 extra assists to help the Flyers put that game away, score those 3 goals in that 5 minutes, like you'd said earlier.
Well, it shouldn't surprise us. Dallas has allowed the most goals in the league, and with your boy Eddie Belfour is not in that anymore, but it's just a running joke with us. Okay. Speaking of that Flyers power play, 24.1%, second in the league. Their 28 power play goals are the most in the NHL. What do you attribute to that? Why is their power play so successful?
Yeah, well, when you have a power play run like superstars like Wayne Simmons, Jake Voracek, and Claude Giroux, anchored by Shane Gostisbehere on the point, and as much as Ghost isn't scoring at the pace he was scoring at last year, he's still very good at distributing the puck. So when he gets the puck at the top point, he can either go to Voracek on his right-hand side or Giroux on his left-hand side, and they're all going to distribute, and they're going to find Wayne Simmons down there at the net, or they're going to shoot bombs, and they've just been able to score a lot of points. I believe at one point last week, Claude Giroux, Wayne Simmons, and Jake Voracek were 1, 2, and 3 in power play points in the league, and that might still be the case today. And it's just good to see that when you have players like that churning it out. And they've been getting a lot of opportunities on the power play too. So it's something that the Flyers have always been pretty good at. I'm pretty sure they always finish up in the top 10 and over the last 5 years or so on the power play. And you just have a lot of really good distributors. And then you got that guy, Wayne Simmons, down there, who's just going to poke in rebounds all day.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned distributors because just from watching it live and watching how fast that puck can move, whip it around the cycle, whether you go cross ice, what you're laughing because I have no idea what I'm talking about. but yeah, like watching it live, I mean that puck is moving.
Yeah, it's awesome because they know where everybody's going to be. They have their set spots on the power play. They have Schenn in the high slot and Simmons in the low slot for that double, deflection or double screen, whatever they prefer, wherever they're going to shoot that from. And you see that awesome play from Giroux to Voracek to Simmons at least once every other game, trying to get that puck on the back door. So they can send the pass as quickly as possible, and it's just good to see they know where everybody is, and the team and the power play is in sync.
Yeah. All right, a game I wanted to talk about in particular, that Edmonton game, which was just ridiculous. You fall down twice by 2 goals, and you come back twice, and you win it 6-5. And just the flurry of goals that they scored, it was just like boom, 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 3 goals in a row, just like that. It's amazing how quickly they can score. And then it happened again in the Dallas game, boom, 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 just scoring these goals at will. But Nick Picone at PhillyInfluencer.com, he called that game the game of the year between the Oilers and Flyers. Do you agree with that?
I think so far I would agree with that. There's no reason to say otherwise because they fought back, like you said, from those two goal differentials. I think they scored 3 goals in a minute 12 to come back the first time, and then just turned out those final goals in the last couple, last period or so to end up stealing the win there. And it was just good to see the team rally behind Steve Mason. He's been playing so well. And, he let up 5 goals that game. And it's going to happen. Every goalie has their off night. And the team rallied in front of him, and they scored 6 goals to outweigh the 5 that he let in. So it was good to see players jump on Steve Mason's back there to rally for that win.
Yeah, and I believe I saw his save percentage number. It's now crept over 90%. So it keeps getting better and better now. All right, Jacob Voracek, you got his jersey hanging on your wall. It looks like it's signed too.
It is.
Yeah, so he wins the what do you call it? The first star of the week. So he racks up 10 points. He had 8 in 2 games, like you mentioned. What was he doing last week that he racked that award up?
Yeah, well, he definitely had help from Braden Schenn on that power play and help from the Dallas Stars defense because they weren't playing very well. They're kind of just letting them score at will on that power.
Eddie Belfour.
Right on Eddie Belfour's ghost. And they kind of just let him do that. And Jake's just been playing like a man possessed. He signed that huge contract extension last year, and the numbers kicked in this year. I believe he's making like $8.25 million a year now or something like that. And I think he tried really hard last year to live up to that contract and fell a little short. And this year, I think he's just playing back to his game. He scored at a point per game pace in the lockout shortened season, and this year he's doing a little bit better than that. He has 32 points in 31 games. He's third in the league for scoring, and he's just playing like a man possessed right now. You can't knock him off the puck. He has great vision right now. So if he's not the one scoring, he's going to feed somebody who's going to put the puck in the net.
Dude, you're not kidding with the strong with the puck on his stick. I mean, he's just going down the ice. No one can knock him down. And then that's how he got a penalty. What was the cross-checking penalty that started the whole comeback against the Stars? They couldn't poke the puck away. So I thought that was pretty cool watching that live. All right, so the Flyers have 3 guys in the top 10 in points. So you mentioned Voracek. You got Claude Giroux at 29 points. He's 9th. Wayne Simmons at 28. He is 10th. So, I mean, what can you say about that? It's incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible. And a lot of those points do come with the power play. I think they each have over 10 points on the power play. So it's good to see that they're having the number 2 ranked power play in the league. And they're also scoring at even strength to supplement that too, which is good. Earlier in the season, they weren't doing that. And they've just been on a tear. I mean, up to the Detroit game, Voracek was on a 4-game point streak with those 10 points. And Claude Giroux has just been playing like a man possessed. He had 6 points last week as well. And Wayne Simmons has just been scoring goals. He's the guy who's just putting the puck in the net this year, which is good to see because Claude Giroux is a guy who's going to distribute just like Jake Voracek. No, the only real shooter on the team is Wayne Simmons. You could argue. So he's the one who's going to put the puck in the net, and then Voracek and Drew are capitalizing on that on the power play. So they all get their points together, but they're scoring in a multitude of different ways, not only on the power play, but at even strength as well.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Metropolitan Division, because while the Flyers have won 9 in a row, they're still 5th in the division. But if they were in the Western Conference, they'd be 2nd in the entire conference, which is just incredible. I mean, you look at some of these teams. Philadelphia's won 9 in a row. Washington's won 5 in a row. Columbus has won 7 in a row. And up top that division, Pittsburgh, they've won 6 in a row. So the only one on a losing streak right now is the Rangers. They've only lost 1. So, that division, man, is just stacked.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, right now they're calling it the Thunderdome. It's the new Thunderdome in that division because, like, no matter what, like, those teams are just playing well. Like you said, those 4 teams combined are just – they have no losses in their last 20-plus games combined.
You said it was, 19-0-0 or something?
Yeah, at some point last week they were 19-0-0 in that division. Like, everybody combined. It's ridiculous. And so – it's good to see, too, because the Flyers have the competition. But if the season were to end today, the Flyers are in the playoffs, but they're in that wild card 2 spot, and they would play the Montreal Canadiens, who are the number 1 team in the East. And going up against Carey Price is no easy task. So the Flyers definitely want to get out of that position, definitely try to get into that wild card 1 spot, or at least the 3rd spot in the division. And they can definitely do that. Something's got to break eventually. I think the Blue Jackets are scoring at a 13% pace on their shots, which is probably not sustainable as a team. And if it is, I'll bite my tongue. But that's not something that I don't think they'll sustain for another 50-plus games. So we'll see what happens in the division. Obviously, the Penguins are the cream of the crop right now. They're just going to continue to play well. Sidney Crosby is ridiculous. As much as I don't like him, he's a phenomenal hockey player. And he's playing like the best player this year. He missed, like, the start of the season. He missed, like, 8 or 10 games, and he scored 20 goals already this year. I think he's on pace for, like, 78 goals, which is ridiculous. I don't know if that'll happen, but that's the pace he's playing at right now, and that's helping the Penguins stay at the top of the division. And
it's crazy. Yeah, go ahead. I cut you.
No, go ahead.
No, all I was going to say is, like, it's crazy because this winning streak, they won all these games in a row, and they've climbed up the standings, but, like, they kind of haven't either because of how great the division has been.
Yeah, well, they've distanced themselves from the teams behind them who would be able to get a wild card spot. So, if the Devils won their next 3 games, they'd still be behind the Flyers. And everybody in the Atlantic Division, if they were to win their next 3 games, so even up with the Flyers, they wouldn't be in the spot either. So right now the Flyers are locked into that spot, even with games in hand, which is good to see. But it's so disappointing and frustrating when you look at the standings, and the Flyers have 39 points. And the best team in the league has 42 points, but everybody in your division ahead of you is between 39 and 41 points with games in hand on you. So, yeah, it's good that the Flyers are on this 9-game winning streak, but they cannot lose a bunch of games in a row. They have to keep winning games to make sure they can solidify that spot. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Anthony Stolarz now. Now is the time where he gets brought up. First career shutout. Do you think he sees more playing time, as the season kind of progresses, or do you kind of just keep going with Mason like the way they have been?
I think they're going to stick with Mason because he's been playing a lot better. Like you said, his save percentage is over 900 right now, which isn't great, but when you start the season at like 86%, that's pretty bad. So he's been playing a lot better, which is good, and he's stolen some games for the Flyers. And Stoley, the goalie, obviously stole that game. He didn't play so well in the first period, but the Red Wings didn't capitalize on his rebounds. And after that, he just became a black hole, sucking all those rebounds in and not letting anything up. So he played really well in the second and third period of that game. And I think he'll get more playing time. And I think when Michael Neuvirth comes back, we might see a situation like we saw with Kimmo Timonen. He was out for a long time, injured, and the Flyers traded him once he was healthy. He didn't even play a game. So there might be a chance that we trade Michael Neuvirth to a team like the Dallas Stars, or a team like, somebody else who's having goalie issues. Michael Neuvirth, we've seen, can carry a team for a few games in the playoffs. He carried us for most of the year last year. So I think Mason's still the long-term solution in that. I think eventually Stolarz and some other goalie prospects that we have, Hart, Lyon, whoever they want to bring up, is going to be the future of the franchise. I don't think Michael Neuvirth fits into that. So as much as he helped us out last year, I don't believe he's in the long-term plans. So he'll probably get the boot once he's healthy again.
Yeah. So how many games was he started, Mason? It was like 14 out of 15 or something it was?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, he on this winning streak, he's had 7 of the 9 games, I believe. Anthony
Yeah.
Stolar started it, and then he had the last one as well. So Mason's had 7 of the 9 wins so far, and since Neuwirth went down, Mason has started almost all those games minus the 2 that we had mentioned.
And do you know, like, what's the ratio between, like, games started by starters, opposed to, getting the backup some work too?
Yeah, so normally what they shoot for is if you have an elite goaltender like Carey Price, he's going to start like 70 games, and the backup's going to start like 12. But a normal ratio for a starter, you have a 1A and then a 2A. In that type of situation, you're probably going to see somewhere between 55 and 60 starts as opposed to 35 to 30 starts.
Okay, so I guess that was kind of like my question was like, all right, so he started 14 to 15 games. Maybe as that ratio go down now because of what they've seen from Stillars, maybe he starts like 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, he should probably start 2 or 3 out of 10.
Okay.
So they
there you go. That's why you're talking and not me.
Yeah, they probably don't want him to overload right now, and what they're doing right now is working. So chances are they don't want to push Stolars into that spot. He won the game in Detroit, which was awesome. But Mason's the hot hand right now, so you got to ride with him.
Starting a goalie controversy, even though there isn't one.
Yeah, come on.
All right, game tonight against Colorado. Can they make it 10 in a row, or is this game maybe a little bit more difficult than you think?
Yeah, so before the show, we were actually talking. I wanted to name this show "It's a Trap" because we know the Flyers like to play down to their competition. Avalanche are last in the league in points. They just got routed 7-0 by the Penguins 2 games ago. They beat the Maple Leafs, but everybody beats the Maple Leafs. So the Avalanche are last in the league in points, and their starters out. So, it's tough because Calvin Pickard, who's going to be the backup, is a pretty solid backup. He's sitting at, I think a 918 save percentage this year, but his career total is somewhere like a 930, 925. So he's a good goalie. And the Flyers like to make backup goalies look like Vezina Trophy finalists. So there's a chance that the Flyers could fall into a trap here. The Avalanche have a great squad based around Nathan McKinnon and Matt Duchene. So we'll see what happens. I think the Flyers will still play well, and I think they'll squeak one out, but it's not going to be as easy as everybody expects.
They're going to win like 7-1. Wow.
If they do, I'll eat a hat or something because I would be surprised.
Oh, man. All right, that's about it for the show. Before we head out, you got any more final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Flyers definitely win tonight. I think they want to keep that winning streak going. They see how tight it is in the division, so every point matters. If they don't win, it'll probably be an overtime game, so they'll at least get a point out of it. I think Travis Konechny has a huge game tonight. He hasn't found the back of the net in a while. I think he's going to take a chance to match speed for speed against McKinnon and Duchene, who are both speed demons as well. So there's a chance Travis Konechny goes off tonight, and it's going to be a good matchup. You have the backup and Pickard, who normally shuts the Flyers down. So we'll see what happens. I think Mason comes back to form after letting in a few softies against the Oilers. So we'll see what happens. It should be a good game.
Speaking of Konechny, dude, again, going back to watching the game live in the press box, dude, he flies. I know he's fast, obviously, but just wow, just watching him live. Dude, he blew by. He went on this. I don't know what to call it. He took it himself. I don't want to call it a fast break or his own break, but he took the puck all the way himself down the ice, and he blew by everybody. It was incredible. It was 3 stars, and they're just looking at him whoa, you're fast, dude. And and I think that set up a scoring chance in the first period.
Yeah, his speed is ridiculous, and that's something the Flyers seriously lack. So in comparison to everybody else, he's just going to fly around out there. So it's finally good to have that speed out there. It's something that the Flyers are definitely using to their advantage.
Yeah, and it was cool. Shen got into a fight. Watched the fight there with Mr. Johns. What was it? Justin John? I don't know his name, but you might know. Yeah, that was cool. The fight there, and then he goes and he scores 3 goals. He scores a hat trick. So and then the ice just gets pelted with hats, and that was really cool to see. So yeah. Can't wait to go to the next game. It's going to be against the Capitals next Wednesday night. That'll be fun.
In the press box, right?
In the press box, yeah.
If I didn't bring it up, you would have. So.
Yeah, it's like a running joke on this show as well. In the press box. By the way, I got there late last time. I didn't get to see Drew shoot on the hoop.
Man, you're missing out.
Dude, he's got an ugly ass jump shot, man. Like there's a reason why he plays hockey.
Yeah, well, I think if you put him against Embiid, it'd be close though, right?
Maybe Simmons. I don't know. Simmons got some handles.
I can believe that. Simmons is a big guy. You know,
we're not. You know, what's the word? Prejudice.
No, he's just tall.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's about it. Yeah, racial profiling, whatever it's called.
No, man, you saw him play. He has a good jump shot.
No, he does. No, yeah. I mean, Simmons and Drew like to shoot on that bat. Right when you walk in, there's a basket there. There's I showed you the picture. It's like a hoop, it's like hoop on concrete, and they like play horse on that thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and well, Drew just got this. He's got this like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just an ugly shot. He's like, I can't describe it.
He shoots like your average Canadian.
There you go. That's why he stinks. He's Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta cut him a break.
I thought it was because he was white. All right.
That might be white too.
Yeah, actually, the white guys are supposed to shoot well, but his form is just all screwed up. But I'm sure he's probably got a better jump shot than the rest of the guys on the team. I mean, he's doing it every day.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna end this show now. Hopefully the Flyers win tonight. Hopefully they get their 10th win in a row, and hopefully the streak continues and never ends. And if that happens, they'll win multiple Stanley Cups. Kevin Weiler, I'm Adrian. Thank you. We're out. Peace.